All right, everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're tackling a question that I think has bugged, well, pretty much every human who's ever lived.
Yeah.
What happens when we die?
Big question.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
And to get some perspective on this one, we're turning to the Bible.
Lots to unpack there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Specifically, there's a whole section on, like, what happens when someone kicks the bucket, you know?
Right.
So let's jump right in, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the Bible seems to be pretty upfront about this whole death thing, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It gets straight to the point.
It does, doesn't it? Like, there's no sugarcoating.
Nope, no beating around the bush. The main message seems to be, when you die, you're done. Kaput.
Just like that, huh? Lights out, game over.
Pretty much. No thoughts, no actions, no feelings. Just nothingness.
Whoa. I mean, that's heavy stuff. So our consciousness just disappears.
That's what the source seems to suggest.
Wow. That's kind of hard to wrap your head around, you know? Like, poof, you're gone.
It is a difficult concept to grasp.
It is. Like, what does that even mean?
Right. And the source really hammers this point home with some pretty powerful imagery from the Bible.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, for instance, Ecclesiastes 9.5 and Psalm 146.4 both state that, the living are aware that they'll die, but the dead, they don't know anything.
So it's like total oblivion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like hitting a hard stop.
No awareness whatsoever.
None at all. It paints a picture of absolute finality.
Wow. Okay, so to like illustrate this whole idea, they bring in the story of Adam, right?
From Genesis.
Yeah, from Genesis. God says to Adam, "Dust you are, and to dust you shall return." That's a pretty blunt statement, don't you think?
It is. It's powerful, too, when you really think about it.
Yeah, very powerful.
Because that statement about Adam, it's actually a key part of this whole death concept. Think about it. Adam was formed from dust, right? And then he returns to dust. It's emphasizing that before creation and after death, there's just nothing, non-existence.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
It's like a cycle.
It is. And then, to really drive the point home, there's Ecclesiastes 3.1920, which, it kind of compares humans and animals, you know?
Yeah, how so?
Well, it says that both come from dust and go back to dust. Like, no special treatment for us just because we're human.
Interesting. So it's saying we're all on equal footing in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. No escaping the dust, huh?
Seems that way. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The Bible doesn't always present death as like the absolute end, right?
You're right. It doesn't. There's more to the story, isn't there?
Exactly. There's this whole other layer to it. And the source points out that the Bible actually uses another metaphor to describe death. Sleep. Sleep. Whoa, okay, that's a whole different image.
Right. Instead of a light switch, it's more like hitting the pause button.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean. So it's not necessarily like game over, but more like a temporary break.
Precisely. And this whole death is sleep thing, you see it pop up all over the Bible.
Oh, really? Well, like in Psalm 13.3, it talks about sleeping in death. And then there's the story of Lazarus in John 11.11 to 14, if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Jesus actually calls Lazarus' death sleep. And even in Acts 7.60, Stephen's death is described as falling asleep. It's a recurring theme.
So if you think about it, it's like when we sleep, we're not aware of what's going on around us.
Yeah.
We're just out. And this is what they're saying about the dead, too.
Yeah. No consciousness.
So if death is like sleep, does that mean there's a chance of like waking up?
Now you're getting to the heart of it. The sleep analogy definitely opens up the possibility of an awakening.
Oh, wow. I never thought of it that way.
And you know what? The source actually points to a specific passage in the Bible that supports this. Job 14.1315. It suggests that God has the power to bring people back from death.
To like resurrect them.
Exactly, to resurrect them. It's like waking up from a really long sleep.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is. The idea that God could remember someone and bring them back to life, it's beyond our comprehension.
It is. It's like,
yeah.
Wow, I don't even know what to say.
Right. It raises so many questions.
It does. Like, what would that even feel like to be resurrected?
It's hard to say. The Bible describes resurrection as something, completely beyond our understanding.
Beyond our current understanding of existence, even.
Yeah, it's like a whole other level.
Wow. So we've talked about how the Bible presents death as both an ending and a sleep state.
With the potential for awakening.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process, huh?
It really is. But you know what I think is most interesting about all of this?
What's that?
It leaves us with some really big questions to think about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, what exactly are those questions?
Well, like, if death is truly like sleep, what does that tell us about how we perceive time,
Oh, wow.
you know? And what about our consciousness? Where does it go in that time?
And then, of course, there's the big question of what would it actually feel like to transition from death back to life?
That's the ultimate mystery.
It is. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's like if we could ask someone who's died and come back, what would they say?
Right. What would their experience be like?
That's something to ponder, for sure. Well, that's about all the time we have for this deep dive, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And keep exploring these big questions,
Yeah.
because the answers might be closer than we think.
You never know.
Exactly. Until next time, everyone.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.